This video will show you how to use the Electricians calculator found at vCalc.com. A link to this calculator will be found in the first comment below. The Electricians calculator has a handful of useful functions for anyone doing electrical work. A couple ones that I want to point out in this. First off, there's descriptions of each of the functions on the left-hand side, but you can get to them individually by clicking on that button and going to the single page dedicated to that, or you can execute them by going back to the main Electricians calculator and pushing any of these buttons. So let's talk about this first one here. This is the outlets and wiring for a room. If you look at this simple diagram right here, it shows a studded framed room and it shows wiring going through it and outlet boxes. Many building codes these days hard require that there are outlets every so often. They want to get away from people running extension cords. So you'll find that are too long. So you'll find that that is the code. So this is a simple little function where you can put in the dimensions of your room, you put in the length and width and the spacing for the outlets. So many places the code is every 6 feet. You could change the units if you wish from feet to meters, etc., but we'll leave them in feet. So say you have a room that is 24 feet long by 18 feet. What this calculator quickly computes is the number of outlet boxes you will need. Using some industry standards, it'll tell you approximately how long it would take you to install them. So in this case, it's 1.37 hours, etc. You can change that to minutes if you like. Minutes, there you go. And it'll tell you it's 82 minutes. And then it also tells you the length of wire that you will need to go to service these boxes. And it takes into account an 8-inch overage pigtail for every wire coming out of every box. So again, very useful calculator, again, based upon industry standards. And as with all things in vCalc, whenever you get an answer, you can either just read it off the screen, or if you wish, you could send yourself an email and put some notes, and basically it'll tell you the same results. Show you the inputs and show you the results. Yeah, so that's one way to communicate that. Another pretty standard function that I want to go over today is voltage drop. When you go over a long circuit, it's a fairly complicated and also simple in some regards formula, but the units can get kind of complicated. You have to look up some characteristics on the gauge of the wire that you're using and what kind of wire you're using, and then temperature range and whether it's 3-phase or single phase. Based upon those, the formula is pretty simple, but those require you to look up a table. vCalc does that for you. So basically what you enter is what volts are you passing over the circuit. So say we're running a 220 circuit and we want to run 30 amps over 220. I'm sorry, 30 amps. Not that's wrong field. Let's put 30 amps right here. And what is the length of this circuit? So say you're running those 30 amps to an outbuilding that's 200 feet away. What it will do is it'll tell you with a 10 gauge wire, you're going to drop just shy of 22 volts, and that's almost a 10% drop. Now, a lot of electrical equipment can't stand, will actually wear out quicker if it has that kind of voltage drop. So what you could do, say you had a 5% requirement that you can't go below 5%, you could just kind of walk through here and say, okay, well, let's progressively go up the scale to 9 gauge. Oh, that gives me a 7.9. Let's go up to 7 gauge, and there you go. You get a 4.9% drop if you use 7 gauge wire, which is more expensive and again, a little bit harder to work with. We've also made this somewhat easy for you in that we've taken that exact same formula and put it in an algorithm so we can work backwards. You could say, again, I want to go 300 feet, and I'm sending 20 amps over 220. And I'm only allowing myself a 5% voltage drop. And then once you select the parameters, what kind of wire it is, normal temperature range or high temperature range, what phase, it then will tell you, in this case, you need a size gauge 8, and that will only drop 3.6%. And it gives you some other parameters about the size gauge 8 wire. So again, very useful calculator, one of many. And from the Electrician's calculator, you can go to the plumbing calculator or the cable and conduit. They're linked to it as well. So anyhow, I hope this is useful to you. And again, you can find a link to this, and we would love comments if we can make this better please let us know how to do that. We're here. All our calculators are free on vCalc, and thanks to our corporate sponsors, and just thank you for using vCalc.